Yay Networks.
Hey guys, episode 51. Can't believe it.
Yeah.
Our 50th episode. We were a little down. We'll get to that in a little bit of why we were down on our 50th episode and why we did questions. We were supposed to do something big and record, and then Jeff got some not so great news at his work. Yeah. So that's why we did the questions last episode, but it was too all about you all. That's why.
No, it was a good way to celebrate 50, so thank you. We got so much support on that. And yeah, if you listened really closely to last week's episode, I kind of made some innuendos towards me being sad or me crying all weekend, and we're about to tell you why.
Yeah, I bought Jeff an expensive bottle of Reposado because he loves that. And I said, drink up. You can cry all weekend. You can be depressed. Come Monday, you lift your head up and you get your shit together. And you have, and how you handled it. But I will let you take over because it is something that happened to you.
Right.
And people listening, y'all already know what it is. I've posted it on my Instagram.
Right. And we've posted it on our show today, Daily Blast Live. So this is Monday that we're filming this, and we officially got the word out today, and that's why we're sharing it with you guys, even though this is airing Wednesday. But yeah, they decided to not renew Daily Blast Live, and they canceled it unexpectedly. You know, I don't know that side of the business per se, but I do know we were doing a great job, and our numbers were up in certain markets. We were number one in Denver. I don't know how it was doing all over the rest of the country, but it's just sometimes companies part ways, you know, for whatever reason they need to. But the good news is they gave us to the end of this season, which is September 6th. So we'll get paid and have benefits and all that through, you know, for the next couple of weeks into the, you know, couple of months, which is really, you know, kind of them and generous, because a lot of shows, when they end, they say, hey guys, we're canceling you. It's over Monday. So for them to give us that grace was really sweet. But we'll kind of walk you guys through what happened. And I was super, super sad. The last time we did this episode, the 50th with all the balloons and celebrations, it was a day after I found out on that Thursday, and then we recorded on
We were
Friday.
supposed to record that Thursday, but you found out. I wish they would have waited till the next week and it wasn't Father's Day, because his whole Father's Day was ruined. And I kept posting stuff on my Instagram about us. It was kind of like a hint, but I don't think anybody got it.
Right.
I was like, oh, celebrating you all weekend because you cried all weekend.
I did. I did a lot of crying. I was very emotional. But Jordan, I got to say, you were a trooper. All those positive things I've told you over the years, and I've even shared on this podcast, now is the time to come into play. And I think it's important. Well, first off, I think it's important to say what a G you were, because you really lifted my spirits when I was in a dark place. I wasn't doing anything drastic, but I was just sad. And the first thing I thought about was my kids, and I don't want to look at Jordan because I've done enough crying already. But that's what worries me the most is my kids, and that they're going to be safe. And I guess I'm going to cry. But yeah, my family reached out, and they just were so great. My great friends reached out, were so great. And Jordan especially was like just straight up so supportive, just on me, getting on it. Don't let me get too far down into that bottle, even though I did a lot, too much drinking, and that's okay when you get some bad news, but you got to bounce back. And I think I'm on that path, but you know, still it's so fresh and new that it's hard to wrap your head around, especially after 7 years and uprooting everybody to come to Denver, which I really, really love. And that's another thing. I don't want to leave Colorado.
And our kids, by the way, do not know what's going on.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're young. And I've talked to Lawson, just kind of hinting around, what if we did have to move? And he said, I like my room, I like my school, and I like my friends. And he started crying. And he goes, you guys can go. I'm going to stay here. And it just made me so sad. And we have to give our next door neighbors. I mean, our next door neighbor just sat with Jeff while you cried and just listened to you get it all out. And
Yeah, my friend, you know what? You really find out who's important and what's important when you go through something. It's traumatic for me. I know maybe people at home have lost their jobs, but this has been my whole life to get to where I am right now. So it is devastating news. I do have to get big at some point and understand that these things happen. You know, maybe everything happens for a reason, but it does put into perspective in your life what's important and who's important. All the drama and bullshit that's going on maybe in your own life or even in the world if you spend too much time on social media, that doesn't matter. None of that stuff matters. What's important really is your family and your friends. And, you know, and if your faith in God is there too, that's something else I have been leaning on a lot lately. So not saying you have to do all the things that I do, but everyone grieves different. This is a loss, but it's not the end. And I think it might be perhaps a new beginning. And I don't think I have a choice at this point. I got to make a new beginning, whether it's here or somewhere else. Hopefully it's still in Denver. But like I said, it's fresh. And all the hosts on the show have been so great. It even brought us closer. We are already a family. And everybody, even behind the scenes, you know, it's such a special place to work. And I've been to other, you know, little things, whether I make an appearance on there or I work there. And it's hard to find a community like ours because a lot of us came to Denver specifically for this job.
well, I think what makes it even more sad is when we moved here, Sam Shocker, who is one of the main hosts on there, she's a producer, correct?
Yeah, she helped create the show.
She helped create Daily Boss Live, if you don't know. And she had just had her daughter, Sophie. And Lawson was, when we moved to Denver, Lawson wasn't even walking yet. And I remember I needed to go to like a couple appointments, and Sam had a nanny and would be like, just bring Lawson over, it's fine. And I used to meet Sam's nanny at the park, and we would just talk because we were all new to Denver. Sam would always invite us to her house. She was so welcoming. When we first, we used to go to this Mexican restaurant, Hacienda, with Tori and her husband, and we were all getting to know each other, and Lawson was in a high chair. And today, I haven't been emotional about it, but today I think it's more so because I know I have to get big for Jeff, and I can't let him be down, and I can't let my kids be down, so I have to be there for them. But today was the first time I got emotional because I went to Daily Blast Live, and everybody's just, I mean, so upset about where are we going to go next. Nobody wants to leave Denver, and they're just put on such a good face, and you walk in and everybody's all smiles. And today I got so sad. Lawson was sitting at the desk with Sam, and he was just a baby in that studio when Jeff started season 1. And I always thought Lawson would be in high school when DBL would probably go off air and like run its course. So that I like got in my car and I got emotional, and then I was like, I can't think about it, because just like Erica and Al and Tori and Sam and everyone else there, they treat you like family. Everyone is just loyal. And even though you all fight on there and you put your heart out, you know how hard it is to go on national television and talk about politics and then have people come at you and write mean comments and lay your heart out there and your emotions, and that's what every single one of you did. Whether you disagreed, you fought, people think you and Tori hate each other. You don't. If you might have your disagreements, it's great for TV, but you both wear your heart on your sleeve. And then when y'all are done, you're hugging each other and you love her and you respect her. And it's okay. And I feel like you all, and I'm not just saying this because we're married, you all were honest, like people on TV, not just saying stuff. You were the voice for the people that don't have a voice. You were speaking for other people who who don't say anything. And they're like, I agree with that guy. When your Balenciaga video went viral, you think other people in Hollywood were saying anything against Balenciaga? No, you were like, that's disgusting. That ad that ran through.
Yeah.
And it's like moments like that. Like you guys had something special and you had that chemistry. And what's sad is the band is breaking up. And another person too I have so much respect for is Jeff's boss, Bert, who we will have on. And he knows how to run shows, and he has turned DBL around and made DBL what it is today. And he works so hard. And it's like you guys put in 7 years, all that time and energy, and just in a second, because they go
Corporate. It's just
corporate.
It's just
Okay,
corporate
I gotta watch
decisions.
what I say
Yeah.
here. I don't want to say the wrong thing and get in trouble. Because of corporate, everything is it's gone.
Right. Well, let's continue the conversation. Let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll just keep going.
I have been taking my AG1 for 6 months now. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
I can tell when I don't take my AG1, and I don't know what it is. It's like a feeling. I'm like, I missed my AG1 this morning, and I have to take it because it supports my immune system.
I've been taking AG1 for over a year now, and it's become habitual. It's the first thing I do every single morning, and it's so important to me that the supplements I take are of the highest quality, and that's why I've been taking AG1, like I said, for over a year now. I've been drinking AG1.
AG1 too is researched and developed by an in-house team of scientists, doctors, and nutritionists with decades of experience in their respective fields.
Yeah, it's cut my supplements down to a quarter. I really just lean on AG1 now. Those are the vitamins that I need and the nutrients that I need to start my day.
AG1's team relies on expert lead scientific research, resourcing ingredients for potency and purity, replacing multiple health supplements like multivitamins, digestive aids, immune support, and more in just one simple scoop.
Yeah, and that's why I love AG1. And I got to tell you, shout out to the packaging. If you don't feel important to start your day, AG1 will make you feel important. Because from the bottle to the scooper to the shaker, it all makes you feel like you're important. And that's what's most important.
It's so good. And too, zinc always makes my stomach feel icky. And the AG1 has vitamin C and zinc to support your immune system. And I can drink it on an empty stomach and I never feel that icky feeling in my stomach.
So if you want to replace your multivitamin or more, start with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin B3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packets with your first subscription at drinkag1.com/togetherness. That's MESS. And that's drinkag1.com/togetherness. You got to check it out.
Welcome back.
Pick up where we left off. Yeah. I mean, even we've been through, the 5 of us are still there, just jumping right back into the conversation, talking about the host. But there was hosts that came and went, and producers that came and went, and the original people who started the show and got off the ground, which is no easy feat either. You kind of learn as you go, and we had some really rough days over there, putting that together. But
Some people don't make it past season 1.
I know.
And you guys are going out number 1. You have your viewership.
Number 1 in
You need
Denver,
to
number 1.
You need to be happy about that. I know it's got to be hard. But keep going. I'm sorry.
What I was just going to say is there's so many people that aren't there anymore that had a hand in making the show what it is, right? But the people who have been there all 7 years, which there is still a lot of us, and I don't want to go through all the names, but their faces are flashing in my head right now. But I mean, we were putting in 10, 12, 14-hour days in the beginning, and we got it to where we were. And to be honest with you, not to point the finger at anywhere of why the show is going off the air, I take a little responsibility in myself that I got too comfortable. You know, I've been saying on this show that I want to start different things and then I want to do different things. And I just got comfortable. I'd be done in the afternoon and then, you know, do what I needed to do other than keep driving myself to that next level. And I think that's where I'm kind of fighting with right now. Because to be honest with you, when I first found out, I'll be honest with the audience too. My mind is like I'm 22 years old living in California. And I'm like, oh, I'll go do construction or manual labor. And I'm like, Trader Joe's seems like a really nice place, you know? And those were legit thoughts in my head. And Jordan had to almost slap me in the face and be like, you were just on a national show for 7 years. I just saw your resume. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back here. I'm saying I need to get myself in a place where I know I can still do this. You know, I've kind of lost that drive because I got too comfortable, and it's tough to get that back. But I think once the initial shock wears off, my mind I just need to get a couple W's, you know, a couple positive things. And the audience has been amazing. I said, have been by far the most
all
amazing.
of y'all have been, so if y'all have been DMing me, because there's a petition that was started to try to save Daily Blast Live. And I'll put the link on my Instagram today. I'll make sure I do that. It's Wednesday listening. And it could possibly help or it might not, but who knows? Because a lot of people, I mean, I feel bad. One of the bosses moved his whole family. They just came on moving trucks.
Yeah, last week
On moving trucks. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah. So it was a shock. And again, I can't get into the other side of the business of it all, but I know we, you know, put on a good show, and probably a lot of you don't even watch the show, but it meant a lot to me. You know, it meant a lot to me, not just for the show and for my income to support my family, but the bonds and friendships and family I built over there as well.
Yeah, but that's what brought, like when I think of Colorado, I think of Daily Blast Live, because that's what brought us here. So I'm never going to be able to go back in 9 News station, which I'm never going back in 9 News after that's done, but I'm never going to be able to like look at that because it'll make me so sad. Yeah. And the last episode of the show is September 6th. That is Leighton's birthday. So I'm like, great. I haven't been drinking at all, and I probably will have a drink. I'm going to have a 6-year-old that's going to be so happy for his birthday to celebrate. I'm going to have a husband that's probably crying and miserable that day because it will be your last show. And then there's going to be me trying to make everybody happy, and I'll probably will have to have a drink.
Well, that's why I kind of wanted to talk about it right away, you know, because that's what these things are for, and kind of document my journey the next couple weeks, not only with, you know, where I'm at with like job offers or if I have any, but also with my mind, you know, to see how my mind progresses and say, I can do anything. I want to get to that place where on the last day, it's going to be sad because it's our last show, and of course there's going to be emotions there, but I mentally, my goal is to be like, this is going to be fine. And I'm telling myself that now, but I'm having trouble believing it. But by that time, I want to know that everything is going to be fine, and I'm right in my mind.
Well, it's because it's a man's ego.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're like, I have a family. It's the unknown. Mm-hmm. You have an attachment to Daily Blast Live. So all of this stuff is hitting you at one time, and your mind is just going in probably 100 different directions because you're like, what is next? You and I both know it's going to be very hard for you to get another hosting job. Yeah. But you have to take it little pieces. Like right now he's putting his reel together. His reel is what his agent sends out to like everybody if they are looking for a host that looks like him. And I was like, you have to take it in little pieces, Jeff. You still have a job till September, and you have to keep moving forward. I was going to smack him when he was talking about the other jobs. I was like, are you joking right now? You have got to, you're very, very humble, but you have to start believing in yourself. And I told Jeff, I go, you lost that. When we lived out in LA, I went out there for Jeff because he was a dreamer. He was like, this is what I want. This is what we're going to make happen. We're going to do it. And I told him, I said, you said you were going to book a national commercial, and you said you were going to be a TV host. You got both things. And it was because you worked hard and you made it happen. And then when you're here, like you said, you're comfortable, like anybody would be. You shouldn't be mad at yourself about that. Everyone gets comfortable with that. You get in a routine. But I told him, I said, you got to be that dreamer again. You got to go for it. You got to stop self-doubting yourself. If you keep self-doubting yourself and saying you can't do it, of course, you're not going to be able to do it. And for me, these past 6 months of no drinking and working on myself, listening to all this positive stuff has really helped me be big for all of this going on, because I think if it was me a year ago when I was drinking 3, 4, 5 days a week and just hanging out with other moms in the neighborhood and just like being drunk, I probably would have been like, oh my God, what are we going to do? I wouldn't have been that support that you needed.
Yeah.
But since I have been working on myself mentally and physically, that I've been able to be your person, to be like, no, you can do this. Get up. And you know I have your back.
I know. That means a lot. That does. I don't even know what to say after this. But it's true. I mean, I think
we've been in worse situations before. And that's what I told Jeff. I go, we have been in worse situations and we're about to go through a storm.
I've been crying for like a week and a half, so I don't even care anymore. It's emotional. It's just emotional because it is kind of like a death, and it's scary. It's very scary for anyone who lost a job out there. I remember my dad losing his job when I think I was like in high school or something. And I didn't give my dad enough credit at the time. I was just like, are we going to be out of money? Like, is that it? And I didn't want my kids thinking what I thought. And my mom was like, it's going to be okay. Your dad got another job in New York. And he was, what a hero. He didn't get enough credit. I love you, Dad, if you're listening. And he'd fly out on, oh my God, I can't even look at you. Jordan's crying like crazy. Well, you need to have a day for yourself too, by the way. But my dad would fly out on Monday morning and fly back on Thursday. And he'd fly to New York City and Manhattan and do what he had to do and come back for his family. And I'm going to have to get big like that and do the same thing and do what I have to do to take care of my family. And that's what's important. You mentioned when people say whatever about things that I've said, that doesn't matter. I used to bother me, and I talked about it on other podcasts, that I don't care about that now. It's not, I don't care what people think about me. I care what people in the industry think about me and if I'm still good enough to do this job. That's where my doubt comes in.
Worry about is, you're good to work with and your character. You're a loyal person and you're a hard worker. And sometimes good things have to end because you're getting redirected. It might not make sense right now, but it's because something better is out there for you. Even though you were comfortable and you can't see it right now, it's because there's something else waiting for you that's better. I truly feel if you're loyal, you don't lie, you're not stealing, you're not cheating, you're good to your kids, you're a good person all around. Bad things happen, but I feel like you can't fail.
Well, that's the attitude I need. Let's take one quick break and then we'll finish up when we come back.
Okay.
All right, so Jordan left us with a very positive sentiment, which I appreciate. I really do, because I need that. I need that daily, and I need more of that, And it's like I used to be able to see the light in the darkest places and know in my mind, this isn't forever. I'm going to get out of here. And the light would start getting bigger. And that's where my dreaming came from. When I put my mind to something, I could do it. And right now, I just don't know where to put my mind. I'm still like in a tizzy, and that's my own fault for not keeping up on that stuff and giving myself, daily motivation and staying
You're being
disciplined.
hard on- you're
I
being
am being
hard on
hard, but I need to get that out of my head. That's why I'm sharing it. I'm just sharing my journey. So when I look back, I could be like, wow, I can't believe I was thinking those things. But I'm being honest about what I'm thinking right now. You know, that's the only reason why I'm sharing exactly how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's hard, but if anyone has been through something like that, and I understand there's worse things in the world, obviously, you know, there could be deaths or sicknesses, and your health and your family's health is all that matters. It really is. It's all that matters, you know?
I truly feel like it's whether DBL, they save the show, if they don't save the show, if we have to move, it's for the better, you know?
Yeah.
There can only be positive from this. And yes, again, you're just in shock still and you're worried, but I feel like you're so good at what you do. You don't give yourself enough props. A lot of people, I mean, haters are going to love this. Be like, yes, because people love you when you're down. Right?
I never got that philosophy. I never
People do.
I know I never, though, played into that. I mean, going back to my first days in LA when I was like 22, I remember just struggle busing it, right? I slept in my acting coach's closet when I first moved there. And I moved into some other guy's walk-in closet. Like, I had my struggles and I still saw the light, you know, and I knew something was going to happen. Even though I did tuck tail and went back to Chicago and ended up moving back in with my parents, I eventually made my way out of that because of positive thinking, because of my boss, you know, Dave Deeney, who I talked about, and because of my friends that really helped me out, my good friends, you know, and I got through the darkness. And, you know, then I didn't get Big Brother till my mind was right. And my old boss is the one who kind of put me on to positive thinkings and things like that. And I never had that skill, or not. I don't want to call it a skill. I never had that in my box of tools, you know, and having that saved me. And so I need to get back into that toolbox and find that positivity. And ever since right when I got my mind right, I remember my boss saying, something big is going to happen for you, man. You know why? Because your mind's right and you're working out and you're taking care of yourself. You feel good, your mind's right, and something big is going to happen. And unbeknownst to me, I didn't even know what Big Brother was, and I got that, and it changed my life. So
And look where it led you.
Right,
And then
right.
you were, before you got DBL, you were in a way worse situation. We had a kid. We were in that apartment. You got dropped from all your agents. You got, you
that wasn't a
weren't
great
working.
time either.
Yeah. And you
But
got
I saw the light.
You
there.
got through it.
Yeah.
You were like, I know what I have to do. And the same thing with this. You're not in that bad of a situation. You're just losing. You feel like you're losing your family, not us family, your DBL family.
Right.
And y'all are breaking
And
up.
it's an end of an era, which is sad.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's what's sad.
Yeah. That is what's sad. But yeah, you're right. I didn't even, there have been a lot of downfalls.
You've been on a lot, and you and I both have been in it together. And what am I going to say? You should be happy. I'm like, all right, let's do it. I'm ready to ride this storm with you. It's not going to be fun, but we're going to be fine. Let's just not drown.
Yeah, trust me.
Let's not drown
I've
or
tried
crash.
to drown myself the past week, and I don't feel good about myself after that.
But you know what?
You got to
You
get
got it
through
out.
it. And you know what? Like I said, you find out who your good friends are, even in a new place like this, even though we've been here 7 years. You know what I mean?
I told our next door neighbors were the first people I told.
Which they've been amazing too. On all
So
sides.
amazing, so understanding. And they're like, you're not moving, are you? I'm like, no, as of right now, we're not. But they're like, you cannot move. But our next door neighbors, they are not just neighbors. Like, they are our family. And I like their kids. I love their kids like my own. And they're good people. We just I feel like it was a God thing, like how we all ended up here in the cul-de-sac. We all get along, and just, we're like, they have been so amazing.
Yeah. No, everyone. That's what I'm saying. So, it opens
Especially
your
the
eyes.
dads. The dads. Because they're like, listen, I almost lost my job in 2019. Another one's like, yeah, I lost my job this time. It's just, this is the first time it's really, it was a real job. Like the CBS.com wasn't like a real stable job. This is the first time it's happened to you. My father lost his job that he worked at forever. And he had, I mean, we were grown. We were like in our, 18, 20 when that happened. But he had a, same thing, put on those big boy pants. And my dad's better off than when he was with the other company.
Yeah.
It's right now you just don't see it. And yeah, you might be out of work for a while. It's going to take a while. It's scary right now in the television world. People are making cuts. There's a lot of different things going on. It's going to be a struggle, but I do think if you stay positive, you stay focused, and if you really, really want it, you will make it happen. I know you will make it happen.
Yeah. I just, again, I don't want to dwell on this. Well, we're dwelling on it the whole episode, but I do have, I don't know if people heard of this term before, but like imposter syndrome, you know? And it means like you really don't feel like you belong. And this business has been so crazy like the last 4 years that it almost felt like I don't belong in the business, you know, everything going on.
Yeah, you belong. You're good looking. The older women love you.
Well,
and
no spring chicken.
Yeah, and the women love you. That's who's watching the shows. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I appreciate that.
And you're honest and you're real, and you don't find that many hosts on television. They're full of shit.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'm willing to play that game.
But you have to do. This is perfect time for you to be like, do I want to stay in this?
Yeah.
Or do I want to get out of it and start my own thing? We have been working on like a couple things, but we don't ever say it because it's so cheesy when people are like working on something big and then post it. Like, we don't want to say that, but there's other little things that we're working on that will keep your mind occupied. Yeah. While you're trying to find something else. But yeah, I'm expecting you to be out of work for probably a year. Hopefully not. But if you are, it's
like I
fine.
said,
I got you. We're fine.
Yeah, we got a couple months to figure it out, which is a blessing. And whether I want to stay in this business permanently, you know, that's something I'm going to have to come to a decision too. Or do I want to try to make things work on my own and kind of get out of the corporate game? I'm going to do whatever's best for my family, you know, but of course, but also for my happiness too.
My only thing that bothers me, I hate that we're about to lose our benefits. I know anybody who's lost a job, you're like, oh my gosh, now we got to change the benefits and do all of that. Like today I went for my breast exam and I was late for my appointment, and the doctor texted me, love her. I knew I loved her when she walked in the room, and she was wearing cowboy boots with scrubs. She's like one of the best breast surgeons out here for breast cancer. And I saw her, and she texts me, and because she was wondering where I was, because I'm never late for my appointments. I'm always on time. And she goes, that's not like you not to show up for your appointment. And I go, I'm walking in the door right now. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, because I know that messes up your whole day. And I felt terrible. I was like, I'll reschedule and I'll come back. She's like, no, I'll work you in. And she was like, what about your mammogram? You didn't do your mammogram, but I did do my MRI. And I go, listen, I'm a mess right now. I got a lot going on. She goes, and then she sat down. She goes, all right, what's going on? And I go, so I apologize. I got a lot on my mind. I'm not sleeping at night. And I was like, I just got some stress going on. And then I sat down, and it ended up being a therapy session for me.
Yeah, it seems like everything is these days.
So, and just like, I'm just doing, you know, like I guess because I'm not sleeping, I feel like I'm doing stupid things lately. And I'm like, why did I just do that?
Yeah. For me, I have 1,000 things on my mind, literally, and I could like feel the weight, and I got to start like knocking things off the list that I want to get done, and so I could focus more on what I
like
need
I
to
told
do.
you.
Like I said, my mind's just really cloudy right now.
You do the most important thing. right now. You do it piece by piece.
Right. Yeah, I just need to get a win every day, just a W every day.
Yes.
Moving forward
And
for the
you
next
have
couple of
been.
weeks. Yeah, yeah.
And I'm
But
proud of you.
they'll add up and it'll help me mentally. Yeah.
And the way he was mentally, how he was crying all weekend and just depressed, I was like, oh my gosh, how is he going to be on air? Is he going to be like super sad? And I'm impressed. You're good. Nobody would ever know.
No, and listen, when Jordan says crying, I'm not like in a blanket in the corner
You're
in a
crying.
ball.
You're crying.
Yeah, it was. All right,
He walked in the door when he found the news, and he had told me that people were coming in town, and I was like, that's not good. Unexpected. And I go, I think you guys are getting canceled. And he goes, no, I think it's something else. And
corporate people.
yeah, corporate.
Yeah.
I'm being vague. I don't want to get in trouble.
Well, it sounded like you meant people are coming to town to visit us.
Oh, no, not
Yeah.
town to visit us. It corporate coming in town. And I go, that's not good. I go, it sounds like you're getting canceled. And he goes, no. And I knew it. I had that feeling. I couldn't sleep that night in my stomach. And I was like, this isn't good. It's not good. And then you text me during your meeting, or you were like, not good. And then you said we're canceled. And I was at this fair and I was sweating and I'm holding all these drinks for the kids and they're getting face painted and I have all these stuffies. And in my head, I'm like, I'm ready to leave now.
Yeah. Yeah, it was hard coming home because I was,
Well, you walked in the door crying.
yeah, because there's a sense of shame that comes with that. You know what I mean? And not being able to take care of your family. I know we're in a better position than a lot of people, in this position, but it's still, it is a blow to your ego. You're right. It is an ego thing. I'm not too proud to admit that. And there is shame involved, like, oh my God, ew, he doesn't have a job. And like I said, I don't really care about those people, but it comes with it. People do thrive off your other people's misery because it's showing their insecurities coming out to the table.
For sure.
People will thrive off that. And like going back to that story in LA, I remember just getting my first win out there. And I did my first ad for like Panasonic. And when I did the job, people were acting really weird. And I was like, I remember when I got my first like Panasonic ad, it was like a big ad. And I remember that because my mom like framed it like for Christmas. And I was in my first magazine and I was really happy I finally did something out there, even though it was such a, small little ad. And I remember people that I was out with like, a couple nights before complaining, drinking late or whatever, complaining about life. And I'm like, hey man, I got that job, I got it. And they kind of turned their back on you. And I was like, what? That guy was my buddy. Like, what happened there? And then I'd get something else, and then, a couple more people would separate themselves. And it's just, I never understood that. I always was the guy who was rooting for the other guy to get it. Because this way, when you get up to that next level, you're going to pull me up with you. And then it's kind of, I guess I get it from team sports, because if you score a touchdown, man, our team wins. And I guess that's my mentality with the whole thing. And if anyone else needs help, I'll help you up. If you're sincere about wanting help, I'll help you the best I can and do what I can. And that's what kind of friends I've made over the years. And I surrounded myself with great people. And now is the time, again, where that ego and shame comes back in. But I've reached out to a couple people already, and I'm going to have to do it more. I'm going to have to swallow that and be like, hey, do you remember this and that, or when we worked together, or did you hear what happened? And, hopefully I've made good enough friendships where those people can pull me back up to where I need to be.
Right.
Am I going
I'm
too
sorry if y'all hear our kids screaming. They're fighting upstairs. All I could hear was Leighton screaming, and I'm sure people are going to be able to hear it.
deep? That's all right. He's probably got it from me from the last couple of days, just screaming out loud.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll wrap it up. Sorry this one was such a Debbie Downer.
Listen, people lose their
episode.
jobs all the time.
Yeah, so hopefully someone can relate, and hopefully as the weeks continue, like I said, my biggest thing is my thought process and my positivity and seeing the light through the dark, and hopefully that'll continue as the weeks go on. And like I said, it's important for me to document this part of our journey. We'll have our boss on. He said he'll come on the next week or the week after. Maybe he could explain a little bit more into that side of the business, because that's what he thrives in. But yeah, I think it would be good just to stick on this for a little while until we, get out of the woods a little bit.
Yeah. It'll all work out. It all always does.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta keep going and keep moving forward and stay positive, and you're gonna find something else or make a career change. I'm here for you no matter what. I've been through it all with you, I feel like. So ready to ride this, and I got your back.
Well, you've been amazing, and I love you.
Thank you. You're gonna end it crying. All right, y'all. Thank you for continuing to watch, download, subscribe. Again, sorry if you hear my kids screaming in the background. And
Sorry if you hear our kids crying. Oh, wait, that's me.
but have a wonderful week, wonderful night, all that good stuff. I don't even know what day it is today. So we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.